Geek World.
Okay, hey everybody. I guess that from now on we're calling this WTF Dave, because I guess just because I talk a lot, I don't really know. Should have better volume now. Hopefully it's not all loud and killing your ears like last time. Sorry about that. You know, I haven't really done like a vlog type thing before. So the reason I'm doing this today, the only reason I wanted to talk is because I saw the trailer for the new Warner Brothers animated The Dark Knight Returns, and I thought it was pretty sweet. Now, I'd already seen part of this trailer over at WonderCon earlier this year, but you know, I mean, I gotta say, come on, is this not the best comic book ever written? I mean, can you believe this came out the same year as Watchmen? It's crazy. Either way, Frank Miller, this is kind of like why he's like super famous along with Sin City and all the other stuff, but really it's this. We all know that. And you know, I gotta say, I'm really excited for the animated movie. I like though it's part one, you know, and you can kind of tell that it seems like it literally goes like it just splits it in half, like book one and book two. Because obviously in the trailer they showcase a lot of like Batman fighting the mutants and stuff like that, and that really epic fight he has with the leader of the mutants in the mud, and it's all kind of like, you know, you ever talk to somebody who hasn't read this before, and you almost make analogies of this book all the time because it's such a great comic book, right? I remember I wanted to give an analogy once to someone. I was like, you know, it's like you have to be like when Batman fought the mutant guy, you know, and he knew he was probably gonna get killed because the guy was like all young. He was like Mike Tyson, you know, but like he had to do it, right? Well, if you haven't read it yet, then you can't make that analogy, so you should read it, okay? But here's like a little like idea of what this is about. Okay, so here's Batman, right? And he's like, you know, he's old now, and he's been gone for like 10 years, and he's kind of sitting in his, you know, room drinking whiskey all the time, right? But then, you know, there's these guys called the mutants. You know, this is the 80s, and Frank Miller was living in New York City, and it was all scary back then. I guess it still is, but even back then it was even super scarier. And so we decided to make like a story about that, right? And then like, you know, he's got a female Robin, which is really cool. But then, you know, all these great like characters from back in the old days show up, you know? I mean, obviously we got like, you know, oh, he shows up, he's got, you know, he's all covered in stuff, and the whole thing was he was supposed to be like, you know, you know, spoiler alert, he was supposed to be normal, but not so much. And then another character shows up too, but I don't even know if he's going to show up in this movie, because clearly he shows up, you only see one shot of him in the entire trailer, and it's his smile. Oh yeah, you know, it's got to be him, right? He has to start off. He has to be in this. And this is really sort of, in my opinion, and I could be wrong because I am no sort of Batman historian, this is where the bromance started. You know, this is where these two were sort of hand in hand, and I complete you, you know, that they sort of, you know, they did with Dark Knight. Because that was the thing, you know, before it was always like, you know, it was sort of like this, okay? Batman and the Joker were always like, pow, zap, you know, and stuff like that. But then, like, you know, this one, like, literally became, like, it's like Bruce Wayne was all like, oh, I hate life and everything sucks. And Joker was all like, he hadn't talked in, like, 10 years. He'd just been in Arkham Asylum just standing there, right? Like, he wasn't even really smiling. He was, you know, a little, no, he wasn't smiling at all. But then Batman shows up and he's, like, beating up punks and stuff. They even showed it in the trailer. And he's like, he'll live, you know, when the cop's like, oh, you broke all his arms and legs and stuff. But then all of a sudden, news report, right? Oh, Batman's back. And then all of a sudden, Joker's like, Batman! And he gets out, and he, like, pretends, like, you know, to be all cool. He goes on, like, the David Letterman show, and he totally, like, Joker gasses everyone, including, like, what's her name? That old sex doctor lady. Like, you know, they used to be around, and she goes, unsex, and stuff. And even she gets killed, too, and it's crazy. But the whole thing is, it's like, you know, he did complete him, you know, because he would have still just been, you know, a vegetable in the asylum if he hadn't showed up. And that's really, I think, also what they try to go with The Dark Knight, you know? I mean, The Dark Knight, you know, Nolan's movie had so much to do with this, like, oh, it's pretty, right? But, you know, also the big thing that everyone really knows The Dark Knight Returns is, you know, we always get these questions, who's going to win in a battle, you know? And we even talked about this in the last Geek World show. But this we actually got to see. Thank you, Frank Miller. It was Batman versus Superman. I'm going to try to put a picture up here right now if I can. It's going to be like a picture of the statue that they were selling at Comic-Con because it's wicked cool. But, you know, the thing is, like, it was the ultimate fight between the two. And really, like, Batman just reached new levels of awesomeness. Because not only was he, like, wicked old, but it showcased, like, how cool he is and all his tech and stuff like that. And it's just great. So, really, my only main, problem I have, and it's not really a problem, it's just, like, this is the thing. Because of the age I am, because of the generation I'm from, and I don't think people will really disagree with me, I love Peter Weller. He is RoboCop. You can't go wrong. He was even, like, spoiler alert, he was like, you know, he was like Ying and, like, Psych and stuff. But this is the deal, okay? For me, Kevin Conroy is the voice of Batman. I know I'm not the only person saying this. I'm sure I'm not. but it like freaks me out when someone other than Kevin Conroy does the voice of Batman, because unless you're like Bale or like Michael Keaton in that costume, I'm not counting George Clooney or Val Kilmer in this, you know, Kevin Conroy is the voice. And so it bothers me a little bit, especially because how cool is that? Kevin Conroy did the voice of Batman in Batman Beyond when he was already like super old like that, you know, and so he can do it. He's awesome, but whatever. Either way, I'm super excited for this. I think it's going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be really, really cool. And I can't wait. When does it come out? September 25th. I got to see it now, but I got to see part 2 because that's going to be when it's crazy. Oh man, I can't give away what happens, but it's like they're in like a circus and oh man, Batman's beating up like cops. It's like the craziest thing ever. Alright guys, that's all I have to talk about right now. And this has got like authentic battle damage. Cool, huh? Alright, talk to you guys later. Bye.